So, that's what made Jackie Chan big, was the Drunken Master. And his style of kung fu movies, because still Jackie Chan was doing kung fu type, karate type movies, old school type movies. He weren't really like in shanty towns. And then he came up with one of his best films, in my opinion, after that. I don't know which year it was, but it was The Young Master, and that's one of his best films, in my opinion. All the comedy in that film, all the choreography, I think definitely people view Drunken Master as one of his best, like karate kung fu movies, because after that he was doing more of his stunt movies that had a lot of storyline and comedy type movies, like Police Story and Crime Story, others as well, Wheels on Meals, but his best, as you say, like, because a lot of 70s movies in China were based on like the kung fu movies that were shot out in like in a dojo or a temple or something like that, not in the inner city type, very old school, and like, so Young Master, I think, was my favourite of that type of Jackie Chan movie, because it featured everything. It featured comedy at its best. It featured a fight scene at the top of the mountain, which was one of my favourite ones. You know, he had a great fight scene at Drunken Master as well at the end, with the guy who bullied him early in the movie when he was on the run from the evil master. But really, the evil master in Drunken Master was trying to help him become the legendary Drunken Master, as he drank 100% of alcohol. He became the drunken god and managed to defeat the evil master that kicked his ass when he was on the run early in the film. The Drunken Master is always going to go down as that classic one that put Jackie Chan on the map, but Young Master will go down as my personal favourite Jackie Chan movie of that type. After that, he tried it in America but could not succeed because America did not know what to do with him. Then you have his movies with his guys he grew up with from the opera school, Sammo Hung, like the big guy, Sammo Hung. He can fight. He's an actual real fighter. He can actually fight for real. I'm not saying Jackie Chan can't fight. I'm just saying he's more of a entertainment type fighter. He probably can fight and handle himself because he grew up in that opera school. Because I was Jackie Chan's biggest fan. I read his book, Jackie Chan, My Life in Action, so I know all about his upbringing in the opera school and how strict his master was. We grew up with two friends that would be in his movies, Sammo Hung and Yuen Biao. Yeah, that's Finn, one who could do lots of great moves, very fast. Sammo Hung was like really realistic and in your face and powerful. Yuen Biao was dead like athletic, agile and fast. So they did them three got back together and did loads of movies. Like, I mentioned a couple. Weren't his best movies, but apart from one, there were Winners and Sinners, My Lucky Stars, Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. But then they did the good ones. They did the one in Holland or something, I think it was. One of my favourite Jackie Chan movies, if not my favourite ones of all time, Wheels on Meals. I think that movie was just great. The comedy was great. Storyline was great. And the fight at the end was his best fight scene ever. Fighting a real life fighter, kickboxing champion, Benny something. Benny the Jet something. But that fight was very realistic type of fight. To show that Jackie Chan can put on a realistic type of fight scene. Because that was a type of realistic type of fight scene. Jackie Chan showed some great moves in there that were realistic to his other films, where he'd roll about, he'd get hit, and then he'd use a weapon, get hit him with it, and there'd be lots of comedy to it. Usually Jackie Chan would be getting beaten up, and then he would use a weapon or something to put some comedy to it, and then jump over a wall, do a back somersault, and then a kick, and then jump over a bar table, hide for a bit, and then come out and beat the two up, and then throw them in a slot machine or throw them through a window, whatever he did, which was really funny. And the way he choreographed his fight scenes, no one has ever done as good as Jackie Chan, as putting entertainment to his fight scenes, which Jackie Chan did. Jackie Chan was a great creative, one of the greatest creative action choreographer, if not the greatest action choreographer ever in the movie business, in my opinion. Now, he had Project A, which is one of Jackie Chan's most greatest films, his most popular films. Then again, that movie was brilliant. I still think Wheels on Meals is my favourite movie, but Project A was one of my favourite movies. The second one wasn't as good as the first one. The first one was a masterpiece. It was Coast Guard trying to get some pirates or something. Yuen Biao was a police officer. He kind of got together on the assignment to go and get the pirates. Now, fight scenes and that are great. The bicycle chase scene through the shanty town was great comedy and just great thrill-seeking action. And then you get to the point where he's at the clock tower. He goes in the building, he's in the clock tower where all the maintenance is, where the clocks work. It's pretty good. You see how the clocks work, how they operate the clock, the massive clock. Then the guy comes in with a gun as he's in the top room with the clock operating systems, and then he jumps out, his hands on the clock, and you can see how fucking far up he is. He's about 40 to 50 feet up in the air, and what he did after that was suicidal, and he actually fucking did that. He jumped 50 feet down, right? And the only thing stopping him was those things that he landed on. The top of the shop, an umbrella, an umbrella extension, whatever you fucking want to call it, where he fell through. And what he fell through weren't soft, because it's like you having a beer garden, you have like an umbrella coming on to stop the rain from, if you're going out for a cigarette, stop the rain from getting you wet. So or you have it outside a market, you have the ceiling, the plastic ceiling. I'm not good at describing things very well, but he fell through 2 of them or 3, but they're no landing to that. He bounced off one of them, so he's basically falling 50 feet down to the ground. That is suicidal. That could have easily killed him, but he fell through and he landed right on his fucking neck. But it didn't hurt him that much. I don't think he might have broken something, but that was a fucking suicidal stunt. And I applaud Jackie Chan for doing that. And how the fuck for a movie, to entertain your fans, you're going to do that. To entertain someone in a movie, put yourself in the line. And it's like pro wrestling, but it's way beyond pro wrestling, because he's putting his life on the line with that stunt. And not even Jeff Hardy can come close to that. What he did in Project A, where he fell off that clock. And that's one of my favourite Jackie Chan stunts, because that's one of the most dangerous ones he did. The one in the second one is a copy of Buster Keaton, the famous Hollywood actor in the 1920s. That was dangerous itself. He had to stand in the right position, and hopefully the wall that came down would hopefully there'd be a gap in it so he wouldn't fall on him. If it fell on him, obviously it would have killed him. So that was Daredevil. That was Buster Keaton, Chinese version of what Buster Keaton made famous in one of his movies. But Jackie Chan did that for real, and Buster Keaton, that was animated in that film. Well, I think it was anyway. So Project 2 it was a good film, had good fight scenes in it, but it wasn't as good as the first one. The first one's a classic. But Wheels and Meals is my favourite Jackie Chan movie, just because of the story and the fight scene at the end, and all three of them playing great parts in the movie. And Project A is definitely up there. And then the other one that's up there, probably the most famous Jackie Chan movie, Police Story. No, it's a classic movie of a cop basically taking the case into his own hands. It has a great story to it with him and his girlfriend Maggie Cheung. Has a lot of comedy to it as well, with Cynthia, looking after Cynthia, and Maggie Cheung thinking they're having a relationship. Gets a lot into the story in this film. It has a great storyline to it, because a lot of his films, like, sometimes people say I haven't got much story, but Police Story had a lot of storyline to it. He's trying to take down this big drug baron guy who's selling H. And back in the day in China, that was a lot of H was getting fucking used in them shanty towns. And that start fight scene that he has, and he goes through that shanty town. I don't know how that was a real shanty town. I don't know how they rebuilt the town. That was a real shanty town in Hong Kong, where they drove right down, as they had the little fight scene and the gun scene, and then they drove down through all the shanty town, through all the shops, straight down the creek, through all the buildings and shanty buildings, and you could see how these people lived in shanty towns, and you know how delicate the buildings were, but they absolutely destroyed the whole fucking shanty town with the car chase to start the movie as he's chasing them. And then he does a great stunt as he takes over, the guy he's after takes over the bus, and then he goes after the bus, runs down this really steep creek, and then gets this umbrella and puts it on the top of the double-decker bus, basically, and hangs on. That's a great stunt, that. Jackie Chan said in his book that's his favourite one, what he did in Police Story, where he did with the umbrella. It was a very good one, where he's ducking cars, and it's his hardest one to do probably, because he had to hang on and the bus was swinging him about and everything. So it's probably his hardest stunt he had to pull off. But the stunt, probably one of my favourite stunts, and one of my favourite ever Jackie Chan fight scenes was the fight at the end in the supermarket. It was just fucking, the choreograph to that was just perfect. 15 minutes of complete non-stop action that just got me off my feet. Just glass smashing everywhere, even falling off floors, kicking people down elevators, fucking beating the shit out of all of them, which you wanted to see. Double kicking the guy who went through the window, through that glass window, smashing people through glass windows, going on a motorbike, twatting people with the motorbikes, then putting the guy on the motorbike and throwing him off a motorbike, driving him through a window in the motorbike, and then at the end, he's on the top floor of the supermarket, which is like a 5-story supermarket, and one of probably my favourite Jackie Chan stunts of all time, where he jumps from the top of the supermarket, and that's one of his most dangerous ones, like in Project A, as he jumps onto the pole where the glass is. Now this real glass, he's going through all this glass as he's going down through floors of glass, smashing through the glass as he's going down the pole. It probably takes him about 10 seconds, and he smashes through the last bit of glass that takes him down straight to the floor. He suffered multiple burns doing that. But think about it, how high up he is just to jump to that pole. He's gonna be like, if he misses, he's gonna fall down fucking 70 foot, whatever. But he jumps straight onto that pole, through all the lights and glass, and just comes down perfectly. It's going to be hard to hang on to that pole. He's going to be hurting all the way down from burns that he's having, and he goes straight through the glass. And straight to the ground. So that movie is Police Story is up there with my favourite Jackie Chan movies. So is Police Story 2. That bus stunt that he does, where he's on top of the bus and then he jumps through the window. It's not as good as Police Story 1, but still a very good movie. And you got Police Story Super Cop, which he did that stunt where he jumped off the top of the building to onto that rope-like ladder hanging off the helicopter. And you actually did that as well. And that's fucking dangerous as it is. He's getting dragged by a helicopter, hanging on to that, getting driven through Malaysia. And that film, Super Cop's one of his most popular films, probably a film that put him very popular, made America open his eyes to him, so he could do films like Rumble in the Bronx, which made his breakthrough in America, and then Rush Hour and all the other movies, Shanghai Noon. But yeah, Police Story 3 Super Cop, just as good as the first. I don't know, can't really say what's the best out of them two. Both are great films, and it features that Michelle Yeoh, and she does great in there. She's like the woman version of Jackie Chan. The movie has a bit more of storyline to it than the first Police Story, as he's undercover, and it's a lot more realistic and as well. And obviously it broke all box office records. It's his most popular, I think, Kung Fu Hong Kong movie. There's another one I forgot, Drunken Master 2. That's one of my favourite ones as well. That's probably just as good as Drunken Master, but people say that's his greatest ever film. Jackie Chan says that's his greatest ever film. I can't argue it's up there. I'll say it's just as good as Drunken Master. My favourite Jackie Chan film is Wheels on Meals, though. And then you got his underrated films that I really like Thunderbolt. I like that film. I think that fight scene in the where the slot machines are was good. And then you have Twin Dragons, which I love that film. There's a comedy in that, and City Hunter. I like that film. Mr. Nice Guy. I like that film. They're low budget movies, which don't come up as his best, like cheap movies. I like that film. Dragons Forever, great film. That's one of his best with his two brothers in that film. And that's one of his most hardcore movies, Dragons Forever. Features a lot of hardcore shit in that film. Who Am I? Well, that's his popular film, though, where he does that glass slide from the top of the building. He has that fight with them two martial artists on the top of the building in Holland.
Oh, hey guys. Hey, the reason I brought you guys in here is because I have a stipulation for the